Okay, so now for something else. Intuition, futurism, and changing the script as it relates to leadership and business. And I'm going to start by telling you a story. For 17 years, and until 2012, I was a famous pianist of contemporary music in the Netherlands. And me and my colleagues, we use algorithms to change the sound of our acoustic instruments and also to trigger visuals. This is me, and these are the visuals. And policymakers at the time were doing two things consistently. Every 4 years, they would shrink the budget for the arts, and they would also redefine the type of projects that would get funding. So the arts had to be profitable, and they have to be self-resourceful at all costs. The government wasn't willing to chip in anymore. And this was actually very extreme. That was my observation. But there was something else happening. Society was changing. And society was finally buying into the character assassination of artist musicians initiated by politicians at the time. So my intuition was telling me, Sonsoles, it is time to pivot to a different industry. My intuition was telling me the arts, the system of the arts, is going to collapse. So my colleagues and the whole of the music industry, they thought that I was really out of my mind. And they were really shocked at the scenario that I was anticipating for the arts. So in 2012, I was the first and the only musician in the Netherlands to transition from the arts to business and team transformation. And today, I have a really exciting consultancy with clients all over the world. It was 5 years into my consultancy when I got a message. Sonsoles, you were right, and you were ahead of the times. Now imagine the tears pouring, because I had to do it all by my own. So this story is important for two reasons. It shows that being able to anticipate the future can be a very lonely place. And you have to follow your hunches, but you might have to do it on your own until you find a tribe. It is also important because it shows that to be intuitive, we need 3 different ingredients. You need to follow trends and developments. You need to be fiercely curious. You also need to step back so that you can connect the dots in a different way and seize new opportunities, like I did when I joined 2 business networks before actually transitioning industries. And that gave me the opportunity to see many corporations from the inside and to start seeing parallels between high-performing teams and high-performing ensembles, right? And then you also need to be someone who, can spend time on her own, be an observer, be away from the noise. So, ahead of this presentation, I did quite a bit of research and also some experiments on social media. And I can say that when it comes to intuition, there are people who rely on it. For instance, Jeff Bezos, he says, my best decisions in life and business have been made with heart and intuition. In other words, it is an asset for him. Other people reject it because they favor rational thought above intuition. According to my Facebook experiment, some people reject intuition because since they don't have it, they cannot appreciate it. And then there is a third group that misunderstands intuition, and this is a fairly big group. So on Facebook, I asked people 2 questions. What is intuition, and why is it not valued by some people? And I really got the vaguest answers. Someone even said it cannot be explained. So imagine this. You want to buy a car. You want to know the specs, the exact specs. Otherwise, you don't buy the car. So if we are here to change the script, we need to start by being able to be articulate about what intuition is. I thought it was fun, by the way, when I did this experiment, that when I asked, why do you think it's not valued by some people? That no one said, well, because nobody knows what it is, right? So, first step, I'm going to give you 5 to change the script. So, be articulate. What is intuition? If I go back to what I said in my first slide, a very pragmatic definition would be, superior pattern recognition based on years of experience, experimentation, and observation. A more elaborate definition would be an ongoing process unconsciously blending and cultivating 4 elements simultaneously. Recent data that you have analyzed, past experiences, your future ambitions, and the possibilities. So it is actually about synthesis, quick synthesis of these 4 elements. And today, we are living in a world full of, global challenges. We have an overload of information, and the market is changing really fast. So, quick synthesis, fast change, that's a really good pair. That's a match. So today, it is an asset to be intuitive. Intuitive thinking organically adds meaning to our perceptions of data, linking seemingly unrelated things, like teams and ensembles, and engaging our whole brain. And because it improves with experience, those who are not open to new experiences won't be able to develop their intuition. Authentic intuition is characterized by an intense clarity in mind, a strong feeling sense, and a working together of the left and the right brain. And because there is feeling involved, we need to cultivate our emotional intelligence so that we can actually recognize and understand our emotions so that we can take the next step. So, as you can see, intuition is not a mystery. It is not mystical. It can be explained, and therefore it can be sold, like the car. Another way to change the script, tell stories, like I did, tell mine in the first slide. Another way, third one, give examples. This is Satya Nadella, the Indian CEO. He created 200 billion in market value for Microsoft in 3.5 years. And he says about himself, I am pretty intuitive. A fourth way, we need to clarify misconceptions. Because rational thought is not the opposite of intuition. Intuition is grounded in knowingness and experience. It is mindful of our intellect and thereby analytics. So, what we could say is that there are different situations and also different styles of making decisions, and we can choose the most appropriate one depending on the situation we are in. And based in what I said about the whole brain, we can also say that when we use our whole brain, when we use intuition, that leads to higher leadership qualities and also to faster decision making. And bring awareness. So we're not living in an era of change, but in a change of era. We are moving from a place that was linear and looked to the past for solutions to a world that is non-linear and that needs to sense and co-create the future. Anticipatory leaders are able to reposition their organizations, right, when they sense that there is going to be a market change. So, intuition today is an asset. It is not a weakness if you want to thrive in VUCA, in volatility, uncertainty, complexity, and ambiguity. So, Intuition has to do with sensing the future, what is to come. So if you want to sharpen your anticipatory skills, there are actually 4 skills that you can hone and develop. So, as a futurist, you have to follow trends and developments in society. You have to be fiercely curious, right? As a strategy, you hone an understanding of the opportunities that a market change represents. And you do that by redefining your organizational and business challenges, right? In such a way that you create new meaning for your team, for your suppliers, for your organization, for your investors, for all of the stakeholders, right? And also, you are someone who looks at the beliefs, ideas, and feelings of the people in your organization, and you align those resources so that you can build new products and services, innovations. Because in a world where nothing is certain, everything is possible. And number 4, the last one, is as a whole system thinker, yeah, you look at your team and at your product lines and at your organization, industries, markets, societies as interdependent networks, as a network of networks. And this is my last slide. This is a very short one. In such a way that we move from volatility, uncertainty, complexity, and ambiguity to teams and organizations, businesses that are vibrant, uplifting, creative, and abundant.